Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can apply with my emotes, the emotes I just mentioned there. Or if you are not a subscriber but you have somebody else's emotes, you can use that. Or if you'd rather just lurk, you can lurk. Wristvan is here, throwing in that tier 2 emote, the scythe. It's me as a death scythe. It's just a cool thing that exists. Because I paid money for it to happen. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Yeah, now we're getting a chance for people to come in, say hi. Dirty saying, evening, Pat. The most recent attack of the game, the show, was a real banger. Nice. I'm glad. I'm happy you're here. Welcome, Dirty. It's Thursday night. It's model kit building night. We're working on the Weiss Barzam right here. You can see the top half and the waist are done on this kit. All we have left to do is work on the legs and the backpack and the weapon, and then we will be done. Lord Crashens is here. Hey, Lord Crashens. We got a great crew already. A fine group of folks. Happy to have you here, everybody. We are currently at 40 subscribers, as you can see in the... I almost said doobly-doo, but I'm not a nerd fighter. So I don't know if I can call it the doobly-doo, because that is, it feels like stolen valor to use a phrase popularized by a community that I do not consider myself a member of. But whatever. And we're 40 out of 45 subscribers. Love to get up to 45. So if you consider becoming a subscriber, that would be great. Or gifting a sub to somebody in the community, that would also be great. Playmo Bill Report is here saying hello, hello. Hello to you. Welcome. Dirty says, this is Attack the Game, the show. It had the question posed by Austin of if buttholes are genitals, and if not, why can't he show his on TV? I mean, I don't want to say he brings up a fair point, because there are parts of the human body that are not genitals that you also can't show on television. There are other parts of the human body that are considered no thank you for that are not considered genitals. So no, you can't. Sorry, Xavier Woods. Lambo Bill Report says, Barzam kit is so underrated. Yes, and the Weiss Barzam is particularly, I think, great looking because it has the coloring inspired, in my opinion, inspired by the Sandrock, which is the kit I don't particularly love, but it's still a good color scheme. It's also a chonky friend, and we do like a chonky friend. I do like a big, chonky mobile suit. So I'm excited to continue working on this. Didn't love the fact that the legs, all the red on here, all the red on any part of this kit is a sticker. I don't love that, but also coloring correcting stickers for a high grade, which is, this is from Gundam Build Fighters. So, like, yeah, it makes sense that the Build Fighters would have some color correcting needs. Ghost Valve says, reminds me of the Turn X and back to lurk. Ghost Valve, enjoy your lurking. You're welcome to it. Do I like seeing people in the chat jumping in, asking questions, giving responses with follow-ups, letting me know things when I'm goofing up, and they'll be like, actually, Pat, yeah, I like that, but I also want you to enjoy the stream how you want to enjoy it. Unless you enjoying it is to make people feel bad. I don't want that. Obviously, that breaks our terms of service. Is bad vibes are okay. Feeling bad is all right, because it's normal and human. Making other people feel bad is not something we tolerate here on the old Build With Baer. All right, I'm going to reply to my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight, but we got a bunch here already, and that's very good. So we'll get into things here. Let's go to the overhead. Overhead camera is good. As you can see, we've got our Weiss Barzam here, and we have our feet done. And we have some of the leg done, which we did a little of that on Monday. And now we're going to continue on our chunky friend. I'm going to move that up there so we can kind of keep an eye on it. Put that there. Working on the right leg. And then, of course, we'll work on the left leg. Queen says, howdy, this is my first time I've caught you on stream in a long while. Well, welcome. Welcome, Laura. Happy to have you here. Glad you could make a stream. Yeah, happy to have you here watching. Tonight we're going to talk about, let's see, I like doing this now and again where I kind of give you the overview of what we'll talk about here. We'll talk about some yard stuff, which also includes a bit of conversation about something that I've never done before that I am attempting. We'll talk about some video game stuff. In the second hour, we'll talk about some anime that I've been watching. I'll kind of give you the blow-by-blow of some of those shows that I've been checking out. We're going to start. I got in talking about it last night, and in fact, I'm going to get this photo out here so we can. Do I have that photo? I do. Hey, y'all, we need to talk about Man versus Bee. I'm going to make that right there. We're just going to have Man versus Bee up there. That's right. The man that brought us Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson himself, guy that has made a lot of people laugh, but currently has a lot of opinions that you would assume a man like him would have about cancel culture, and so he sucks. But anyway, he's got a Netflix thing coming out. It's called Man vs. Bee. It's coming out on June 24th, and we do need to talk about it. Yes, Mr. Bean, indeed. One could assume that was a little bit of what encouraged him to work on said project. And you're like, Pat, so Netflix paid the Bean Man, gonna pitch my show, Bee versus Man. I like that. Yeah, Queen. Look, here's the thing. Do I like that he is so worried about cancel culture and not being able to say things and all this other stuff? I'm not happy about it. As far as I know, he's not in the worst possible category of British comedians, which is to be transphobic for some fucking reason. The biggest plague on British comedians. He's not in that category as far as I know. Don't quote me on it. But as far as I know, he's not in that category. He's in the cancel culture one. So it's not great, but it could be worse. Anyway, the Bean Man is in a Netflix thing where, according to IMDb, who could be wrong, but according to IMDb, his name is Man B, and he is a homeless gentleman who is mistaken for a house sitter. Sounds like a great mistaken identity, right? Well, the problem is that there's a bee in the house, and for whatever reason, he decides it's his job to fight that bee or get rid of that bee or something. And you're like, Pat, why is that a movie? And to which I will say, oh, don't worry, it's not a movie. It's a 10-episode television series, I guess. I mean, it's Netflix. It's a 10-episode story. Each episode is only 10 minutes long. So don't worry about that. What if it's a pet bee? I mean, that could be a mid-season reveal that bee belongs there. And I mean, look, here's what I would like. I would like to find out that the actual owner of the house is the bee, that bee was left the house in a will. Some rich person with no relatives left the house to the bee. And now the bee hires Man B as its boss. Also, again, IMDb says the character's name is Man B. That could be inaccurate. Don't necessarily quote me on that. Because it doesn't make any sense. But also, none of it makes any sense. Why did Netflix give this person money to make this thing? What's happening? Like, what's going on? Was this we set up a bunch of cameras and we'll put in a bee after, so Rowan just has to be in a house by himself, and so we can film it during quarantine? Like, they just set up a bunch of cameras and let him go whatever, and then they found it in the edits. Like, if you told me that, I would at least go, well, that's a novel way to make something. I was about to say make some money, but to make something. Like, that's a way. Also, what do you think about, like, all of the projects that we just heard that Netflix has canceled, all the animated projects they've canceled, but this is a thing that exists and is coming out. It does feel worse. It felt funnier a couple days ago, and it feels less good now that it's basically known that Bone, the adaptation of Bone, has been canceled, like way into development. Like, it feels less funny in context, with that context, but it still is a ridiculous thing that is happening. Random silliness, half a B, philosophically must, ipso facto, half not be. Indeed, Aristophan. I mean, they paid Dave Chappelle to yell bigotry for an hour. Yeah. 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 I mean, at least make jokes. Here's the thing. If you've got in your head that no one can tell you what you can and can't joke about, then you actually have to joke about it. Because instead, what you do is just say hateful, hurtful things as fact. And they're not jokes. Like, people can certainly hide behind jokes, but to hide behind your joke, you have to actually make a joke. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Lot of shit. Anyway, that's Man versus Bee, and we did need to talk about it because it is a thing that exists, and I don't quite know what to do with that information, because it is sort of a nightmare. Oh, I haven't promoted this, so I'm going to put this here in the chat here. I have been promoting, but haven't mentioned it tonight, so I am going to say, to change gears and talk about something that's awesome, the Plastic Model Weekender. I want to give a quick plug to the Plastic Model Weekender. It is happening a week from tomorrow. We're starting that off. Details are in the chat. Plastic Model Weekender happening April 29th through May 1st at twitch.tv/Plamo Weekender. My shift will be Saturday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern. Most of the information on the website talks a lot about Central Time Zone because that's where Jason is. Jason puts on this event, organizes this event with help. But it's his thing. So he mentions it in that a lot. So I do want to include that. Plemo says stoked. And yeah, I'm stoked as well. I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow I will be saying what model kit I will be building. I have said on stream before that I am doing something that is indeed a model kit that is from a later Gundam series, a fairly recent Gundam series, and it is a grunt kit, and I'm excited about it. And it is a non-humanoid looking grunt. That if I don't do stickers and I don't do panel lining, I could finish in 2 hours. But I won't be able to because y'all will be donating money, and other people who don't know me will be donating money so that I open, as an incentive, I open random packs of trading cards and card game cards and movie stuff, all kinds of weird card packs that I will open. And I will do that because it will be fun to do. So I'll have to stop what I'm doing when I build in order to accommodate people. Thank you for following it. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. It's running from Friday through Sunday. There are gonna be a lot of different people coming. I have realized now that I use my Pat Bear photo there. I use me as a death scythe as my photo, and I shouldn't do that in the future. I won't do that because it might be confused that I am a VTuber, which I am not. There are VTubers who are doing this thing, and that rules. I love that. The VTubers who are model kit builders are fantastic. But having like a cartoon representation of me might imply to some people who don't know me that is what they're going to get, and I don't want people to be disappointed. So I might have to just use a photo of me. I mean, it is one of my emotes, and it's me as a as you know, it is me as a death site, so that usually is pretty cool. But you know, it's okay. People think I'm Mega Man based on my profile picture. Well, there you go. Yeah. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm gonna panel line this before I put it in here, because it might be annoying to do this later. So I'm just gonna quickly hit this piece here. I usually wait until a whole section is done, but this little piece looks like I might not be able to get at it. So we're just doing the quick and dirty method here, just hitting all my lines that'll be visible quickly with the marker and then going over it with an eraser. Some people like to use a Q-tip. Some people like to use just their fingers. Some people like to use a tissue. I do like the tactical feel of the eraser. I like getting in there and cleaning it up. All right, so there's a little bit of a shade there. Not much panel lining needed on that anyway, but then we'll pop that in there. All right, looking good there. And then pop this here. Wait, go like that? No. Is this the right part? This is not the right part. I was like, this doesn't look right. And the reason why it didn't look right is because it was wrong. It's this part here. This is like, I think 3 or something. I don't know. We'll find it later when I go to pull it out and it's not on there. I was like, oh wait, this isn't actually what I want. Does your local hobby shop actually have stock, or do you order all your kits online? So, I don't, unfortunately, have a good local shop in my area. I am not from South Carolina. That's where I currently live. I have looked for, I would love to support a local business and buy model kits. Unfortunately for me, the actual local store for me is Target. So I want to buy any more Breaker Battlelog kits, I can go to Target. But yeah, unfortunately, I do not have access to a good local shop in this area. There was a comic book shop here. The comic book shop here used to sell model kits a long time ago, but have not for many years, unfortunately. So I do buy all my stuff online. I try to buy from Gundam Planet or USA Gundam Store because they are on the East Coast. Of course, I do buy stuff on Amazon when it comes up because Amazon is still convenient. I mean, it's still a convenient way to get what you need. I do like buying from Gundam Planet because I used to buy from them all the time, especially when I lived in New York. My local in New York was Image Anime. I would go in there and buy kits, and they had a good selection, and their staff wasn't super knowledgeable about model kits, but the owner knew what they were talking about when it came to kits, so I could usually pass on messages and kind of like ask questions about some things and ordering some stuff. I wish I had a local shop that I could spend money in and buy kits, and I didn't just buy everything online. This kit that I'm building right now is a premium Bandai kit. I do pick those up fairly regularly. In fact, I have a shipment on FedEx. FedEx is sending out 2 kits coming very soon. I'm getting the modifications of the Pale Rider high grade, the Black Rider, and the White Rider. Hey, fun fact, the Pale Rider is the first completely original premium Bandai kit. That was not like a variation of a different kit. It was the first one that was like solely created from the ground up just to be a premium kit. And then these are variations of that kit, the Pale Rider. The White Rider and Black Rider look fantastic. They're coming together in a box. And then at some point, also, I will be getting, what was the other thing that was premium? The Exia Repair 2 Real Grade. I'm getting that. The Exia Repair 2 Real Grade is premium Bandai. That's a re-release of that. I'm getting that at some point in the near future, which would be nice. I wish my local store had stock, but Bluefin isn't sending them proper shipments. I hear that's happening. Yeah. Numbers are bad. People are not getting their full shipments that they ordered. It feels like smaller shops are not getting what they need. The consolidation of all of the Bandai USA brands, the Bluefin and Collectors and all of that is going under one house, and apparently things are not, that merger of all of those groups is not is not going great, because that is difficult to do. So it sounds like that between that and just supply chain issues, it's being pretty frustrating for folks. No April Fugle. Also, hooray for their Plamo engineering knowledge nerdage. Yes. Hey, Squiggle. Yeah, no, I didn't get that. I would like that kit. I would like that beautiful tall geese. I did not end up going for that beautiful tall geese. I have some regrets about that, but someday I will. I will pick that up. It sold out last time when I was hemming and hawing about getting it, so I didn't end up getting it. But yeah, I have fucking model kits coming. Of course, the God Gundam did get pushed back. And hopefully, I'm getting that from Gundam Planet, and hopefully that'll come in. Sometimes the stuff that's supposed to come in to USA Gundam Store, occasionally they have issues getting the things they're supposed to be getting. But Gundam Planet usually gets what they order or what they are expecting. Who knows? Kind of surprised they haven't updated the site for PMW. Yeah. Yes, as Squiggle says, Jason's ankle went foobar yesterday. So Jason had some stuff with like his car like not too long ago. He's had work stuff. He had jury duty. Unfortunately, the month of this event, he had to do jury duty. And then also he's dealing with an injury. So Jason's got like a lot on his plate. So I am not surprised that the website getting properly updated like is a thing that's probably happened, but hasn't been like the biggest priority for him right now. Also, like the number of participants has expanded from last year. So that also means that he's got to like do tech tests for people. They're going to run a server in, I believe, in Europe to handle some of that, so that people aren't having the ping will be better. He's had a lot of technical hurdles because everyone. I mean, look, it's not like I'm peeking behind the curtain too much. He's not giving out the stream code, the Twitch code to everybody and asking people to log out and a new person log in. Basically, we're just like streaming to a server, which has been streaming to Twitch. He does a very good job. Yeah. I kind of know the idea of how that works. I did a similar thing for the 2 PAX Onlines that I participated in, where you were just like, here's how you just send your signal. Like, that's how the live shows for those go. In fact, actually, because there was one that was live that I did some live stuff for, but the other ones I just sent video and recorded it. But that stuff I'm like I kind of understand what you want from me with that. Like, I kind of get how these work. I'm not like super knowledgeable about the ins and outs of like streaming like that kind of an event. Like, I'm aware of how it works, but haven't had to work behind the scenes at any event. Speaking of events, look, honestly, a 60-hour stream, that method makes more sense. No, actually knocking it out. Yes, yeah, you're basically, they give you a countdown when you can be sending to the server, but then you don't have to worry about like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a bunch of people who are like, oh, can I stream now? Okay, well, all right. Like, they still have to check in. They still have to be part of the Discord. They still have to do stuff, but it is a lot easier this way. So speaking of events, PAX East has started. It is still a 4-day event this year. It is still happening, despite, probably some very good reasons for it to not be an event this year. but it is happening. I do have friends there. I have friends who are running booths. I have friends who are doing panels, friends who are doing music there. Um, I am kind of wishing I was there. I do have the missing out feelings because the Penny Arcade Expo East is a show where this is the very first time that I have missed it since it started. There were plenty of PAX West that happened before I had ever, been interested in going. I didn't fly out to Seattle, and in fact, the first couple of years of East, I didn't also then go to West. That was the only show I went to. But I made it to every East. I was in New York, and it was easy to take a train or a bus the first year. I didn't even take the Mega Bus or Bolt bus. I took the Feng Hua bus, the Chinatown bus, where you just showed up. The first year I went, you couldn't buy tickets on a website. You had to buy them in person. So you just showed up when you wanted to leave and hoped that you could get on that bus and you weren't in the line. And so I got there very early on a Friday to Chinatown in New York to take that bus, just hoping that I got a seat. And I ended up getting on the first one I wanted, so I got up there. And then had to leave very early on Sunday because I didn't want to. Sunday afternoon, I remember going back and making it on there. But yeah, several years I took the bus and then would take Metro North, not Metro North, Amtrak. I would take Amtrak up there when I had more disposable income. The stories I've seen, how flights have been during and since the mask mandate being struck down were wild. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So in December, I was at PAX Unplugged, and I don't regret going. That was a good time. My panel, I could have been better, but it was still fine. And I got to see a few people and got to hang out, and then had conversations about PAX East. And at PAX Unplugged, I was like, PAX Unplugged happened right before Omicron. So we didn't get that surge yet. So it was kind of like, now that I did this convention, I could go to one that's a little bigger and has a little more going on. I could see some people, and yeah, I can make this work. And I was like, I'll do this. I can do this. And then it was like, then we had the surge, and I was like, well, in October, in April, it could be better. Of course, this was January, I'm thinking this, and I'm like, but am I going to start, like, if I'm going to book events, like I'm going to book panels, I'm going to reach out to people that usually go to PAX but maybe aren't going to go. And am I going to ask them if they're interested in going to East and be like, well, if you're on the fence, like, am I going to try to convince people to go to a convention? It didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And then when you add in now the mask mandates being lifted at planes and on a federal level, airports, although LAX just today was like, no, you still gotta wear a mask in LAX. LAX is like, you have to wear a mask at the airport. You might not have to wear it on the flight, but you gotta wear them in the airport. And I'm hoping that major airports choose to do that as well. But on the federal level, the federal government can't be like, hey, right now anyway, can't be like, hey. But even thinking about that, I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't go. I mean, I would have liked. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, look, I hope everyone's okay. I had friends who were fine at GDC. I will say, the number of people I know personally, this is obviously anecdotal, that didn't get COVID until this month is a little higher than I would like. It is a non-zero number that now have COVID that ended up not having it before, and that sucks. And I'm sorry folks are dealing with that. Certainly. All right, and then let's put a foot on there, and we're done with one of our legs. Now we can do the other leg. I'm not done yet because I do have to panel line this leg accent. 90% of people wearing masks in my state were wearing them wrong. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, like, I'm here in South Carolina, and it wasn't until probably like March that the last holdouts, which was, of course, the grocery stores. I will say this. Last July, we went to the airport, my local airport here, and to pick up my uncle who was visiting us, and nobody was wearing a mask. But then we went and in December, we had relatives coming to visit us, and we went to pick them up. Everyone was wearing masks because Omicron. So like it was like it had gotten better, but last July it was like people who worked at the airport didn't have masks on, and it was like, what are you talking? What are we doing here? What's going on? But again, it is South Carolina, and freedom, freedom and freedom, and all of that. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next leg, which is look at this. Then we get our color pages here of our thing here. So now we can look in color. Our left leg, nice color pages, and of course the backpack. But we can just put this on here because there's no side skirt on this. There's no skirt at all. There's just the back part here. So let's put a leg on. Yay, we got a leg. It swings very wide. Oh yeah, because it popped out. Great. Cool. I was like, oh, this swings a lot. Yeah, because that's not the best connector. That ball socket I don't love. Freedom, indeed. Man, I'm jelly of those folks who made it this far. I'm knocked out of the running 4 months in. Yeah, okay, so I will say this. I have not had COVID. We had a scare where a friend of my mom's came down with COVID, and she had been at our house a few days before. So my parents went and got the tests, and they didn't have it. My dad is immune compromised, so I have worked very hard to not expose myself, and because it would be very bad for my father. I'm vaccinated, boosted. Haven't gotten my second booster because I don't know if it will. No one can tell me if the second booster is going to cost me money or not, because I don't have health insurance. And the people I've talked to are not in the South Carolina state government. So the only information I could be given was, well, if it does cost money, they'll bill you later. And that's all the information I have been given. And I was like, well, that sounds like shit. So I don't know if this booster is going to cost money or not. So I have not gotten my second booster. If I do go to New York, which I'm planning to go in the summer, I will probably get boosted before that. Both my parents still don't believe it's dangerous disease, and I'm pretty sure they won't until someone they know dies from it. That's awful. Yeah, but I understand. Medical billing is definitely the most fun form of billing we have in the United States. Totally, Lord Crashington, where, yeah, they just can't tell me because they're like, if the funds are there, it's fine. So, Lashbrook, the second booster, with proper medical reasoning, Queen says, my second booster was free, but I'm in Oklahoma. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know if South Carolina, like I said, right now, they're like, well, we have money for it because the government money program paid for a lot of this stuff. But if there isn't money, then we won't know. The thing that we've got here is with the proper medical, or if you are at risk, you can get a second booster. You just have to explain why. And so I will say that that is both a health reason and because I will be traveling and that I live with someone who is immune compromised, and I should be able to get that second booster. But like I said, maybe I won't be able to get it because I'll be paying for it later. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, also yes. As far as people getting boosted or not getting boosted, getting anything. My aunt and uncle have not been boosted, they did get the vaccine. They were not happy about it. This is some family out in California, or they used to be in California, now they're up in Oregon. They weren't happy about it. They haven't gotten boosted, but they did get the vaccine, which I was actually, honestly, genuinely surprised about. But it was like one of their kids was insistent, which was good, and which is what you're supposed to do. Luckily for me, I did not run into that issue. I did not have to cause a fuss. As I said, my dad is immune compromised, so it was very important for the three of us to get vaccinated. As soon as I was available to get it, I got my original shot because of my BMI, which is bullshit, but it also meant that I could get that before other people, so I did. But well, yeah, when it came down to that, I made sure all of us got appointments like as soon as we could. Thanks, Walgreens. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is like, there are people that you can't convince of anything, and there are people that you can guilt into things, and I think that's reasonable. I mean, like I said, my folks were on board about doing the right thing and doing everything they need to do and all that, like pretty much from day one. It was like, so that wasn't a concern for me. Like I knew that was going to be fine, of getting everything them doing what they needed to do. Things have opened up a lot around here as far as like going to restaurants and being like their group of friends went from a very small bubble where multiple. The thing is, the bubble system doesn't work unless you like literally live in the same house, because everybody else in the bubble except for us also got COVID at some point. So to me, I was like, I don't like this bubble idea, because your friends are also seeing other people. If it was just you, it would be one thing. But at a certain point, you could only make recommendations, and please, you can't force people to do anything, which I think we've all learned. Basically, save your breath for people who will listen. Yeah, best thing you can do outside is you show you've been vaccinated, it's safe. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, it's just one of those things where, like, the thing I have adopted in my life generally when it comes to these things is I have taken the thing of like I'm going to listen to some TV show telling me, like, or I've said that, I literally have said this to a relative. A lot of people are saying some stuff on Facebook, and I just don't trust Facebook, so I don't even pay attention to that, which is me using their argument against them, because they were bringing up stuff that they had read on Facebook, and I just flat out said, like, oh, I don't listen to Facebook. Those people on there don't know what they're talking about, which didn't, I didn't win an argument there, but it did fucking feel pretty good, so I'll take it. Also, yeah, don't listen to fucking Facebook for your medical advice. Yeah, it's frustrating. A lot of that is very frustrating. And then I have friends who are just like, in the last year, don't seem to be taking. I understand the fatigue, but I don't understand the like mental gymnastic that takes place where people are like, and I'm done caring about this. It's just like, wait, why? Why did you stop caring? Why did you stop caring about what's happening out there? Wait, why did it happen? Ooh, did I put this on wrong? I put this piece on wrong. This is reversed. So, pop that off and put it the way it's supposed to be. Heck yeah. Double check. Yes. Put this on the wrong way. This goes like that. Okay. I had put that on wrong. So luckily caught that there before we started putting more things on. So that's nice. News fatigue. Yeah, I mean, some of that is it is a fatigue, and I do understand it, but it's a thing where it's just like, but I'm not even saying that these are folks that were like, well, if I get it, it's not like they're not doing the like, oh, well, if I get it, I'm young, so it's not a big deal. Or, well, I'll figure out what I got to do. Or I know someone that had COVID and they're okay. Like, it's not even those people. These are people who are still like, think it's dangerous. They're just like, at a certain point, they're like, it's that thing of like, I guess I'm done being scared of it. And it's like, well, don't be done with that. Please continue to be precautious. I'm not saying like live in fear. I'm saying like live in practicality of like understanding what's going on and taking the proper steps. Like, I do worry for my friends at this convention this weekend who are traveling. Some people coming like, different countries and being around people the whole weekend. And like, I do worry about that. As far as I know, I did not hear about anyone having any cases at PAX Unplugged in December. But of course, we did have people that got COVID during GDC, found out during the event that they had COVID. So that's certainly a thing that like is like a fear that people are gonna, end up sick. And it's frustrating to think about it. It's really rough, shitty for all the immunocompromised people. Indeed, as someone who's essentially the whole time works around police EMS, I fully stopped tell folks no, wear your mask. These fools gave up 2 months in. Yeah. Just sucks that all the people that are like really high risk get to enjoy a higher probability of exposure because others decide, minor inconvenience. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who has had COVID because she is an EMT and she's taken that risk on. And I respect the risk that she continues to work for the public good. And, I don't, begrudge people for feeling bad. I don't want to be like, I'm not here shaming people that got COVID for being wholly irresponsible. I guess I'm going to let other people do that, I still wear a mask because I want to avoid getting COVID. Yes, a long COVID. Yes, Lord Crashington, indeed. Like, I'm an overweight guy that takes okay care of himself, but like, I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with long COVID. Yes, also, Queen, I also don't have health insurance. I lost health insurance back in 2019 when I got fired from my full-time job. I have not had it since. I was ready to get freelancers, to get Cobra in New York, and then everything shut down, and then all my job stuff is like weird, and I haven't gotten health insurance here in South Carolina because it's incredibly expensive. They don't have the same kind of programs that I had in New York. So yeah, I don't have health insurance, and it would put me into medical debt. My work has mandated people work out of the office 2 days a week. Oh, that fucking sucks. And for some reason, people all come in on the same 2 days. What? No. I had to walk through a group of like 10 people en masse talking to each other. Lashbrook, if you like that, to me, that's like if you're saying your job is saying that you have to come in for 2 days, like a week, then it should be their responsibility to schedule it so that people don't all end up there at the same time. Like I said, like, it sucks to work on a Friday, but work on a Friday because if people probably aren't going to want to come in on a Friday, like, or whatever. Like, it sucks that's not spread out amongst different days of the week. Because that is just increasing the risk of exposure. But yeah, Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, that's just weird. It's like, why have everybody together? Like that's not helpful. It's weird. I'm not a fan of that. That sucks, Lashbrook. I'm sorry. I don't have anything clever to add to it. I just think that sucks. Let's see. Here's the thing. I want to stop talking about COVID for a minute if we can, but I do want to talk about something that is going on. Folks that have been on this watching the streams here for a while know this about me. They know that I don't like yard work. That Many, many years living in New York, did not have a yard or access to a yard. Even sometimes I had access to a yard, but I wasn't charged of that yard. Um, that a thing that I had come to dislike down here in South Carolina, here in the suburbs, is the constant need for mowing the lawn and raking leaves and trimming hedges, and we got these palm trees these palms that are lovely, but sometimes you got to cut these things out because there'll be branches that come out, which is great. You want that, but then there's some like berries that fall and they rot in the yard, and they're basically like crab apples, but it's just like kind of similar, and they're gross, so you got to like get rid of that beforehand, and it's all of it sucks. Well, I'm trying something out, and I don't know if this is going to work out well. I posted this on Twitter. Tomatoes. Got some planters and some soil, and then bought some tomato plants. And I guess I'm gonna see how that goes. And I don't know if that is gonna work out. At this point, I should say and make this clear, I'm not the biggest fan of raw tomato. I don't mind cooked tomatoes, like stewed tomatoes. I like ketchup. I like marinara sauce and a good tomato sauce. But I don't like if a sandwich has a slice of tomato on it, I can eat it, but I would prefer not to. But I want to see if like gardening is like vegetable growing is maybe something that I could get behind, because it does produce results that aren't just like, oh, those flowers are pretty, which is a thing that like I'm just kind of figuring out is not really something that I'm super into. But I maybe I'll be into that. So I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes, I guess is what I'll say. Crab apple is the same thing as horse apples. Yeah. Yes. It's those little tiny apples that nobody eats. They just fall, and then you got to rake them up and clean them up. This is like the palm equivalent of those little apples that are just like there for kids to think are berries, and then turns out to just be gross. You don't love having constant spend energy, effort in the yard and burn energy cutting it only to need cut again. No, I don't love that. I just mowed the backyard today, and I was not thrilled. Hard to disagree on fake lawn. Better off finding stuff you can plant that won't have an issue, but that can be a nightmare. Yes, there is an HOA here, and so we do respect the HOA as best as we can. So we do have to mow lawns. Look, I would love it if we just had like rocks, just like an entire yard of white rocks. Like I think that would be great. We're not going to have that. But my folks take a lot of pleasure in having like buying the plants and taking care of them, and a mixture of potted plants and trees, and we got rose bushes, and we got like a bunch of different potted plants. We got like this we call it the island. There's like a tree, and they built there's wood chips and rocks around, and I gotta we go to Home Depot, and I gotta buy stones, big bags of white stones, and do all that. And like they both care very much about having that, and that is not something that I have any real interest in, but they like it, and I will help because I live here, and so that's fine. But we'll see if tomatoes. I looked it up, and okay, horse apples are very different. They are officially known as Osage oranges, and they are the size of a fist. Okay, that's different. I'm talking when I say crab apples, they look like big cherries, like not big, like large cherries, but also apples, and they don't taste good. And they're a pain in the ass. But yeah, so that's what I was talking about there. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, my folks like it, so I'm not gonna say anything. And like I said, I don't even really like raw tomatoes, but we're gonna see how these tomatoes do. And maybe I've got a green. I'll say this: I can keep some plants alive. My folks, went away for a month and a half, and I was here by myself, and all of the plants turned out great. Survived, everything looked good. I watered the things that need watering, took care of the things. Like I'm pretty good at keeping plants alive. I just don't get any like huge satisfaction from them. So we'll see if this if something happens and suddenly I'm like, hell yeah, I love this. This is exactly what I want. I don't see it happening, but it's possible. I wish like ivy vines were considered more acceptable HOAs. Would a door replacing our lawn with that and not needing to worry about the constant height cut, or maybe some creeping time. Yes, like just like a lot of vines is kind of a fun look. Especially if you have brick. Like that's just a classic, good looking a choice. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna get away with that. Is my guess. It's there. Did you see Pope's tweet where he found out the law of equivalent exchange in Full Metal Alchemist? No, I didn't see that. I'll take a look at it later. Yeah, so I can understand. Like personally, I'm not a fan of HOAs. I understand the hey, no broken apart mailboxes. Like keep your mailboxes uniform and looking good, and they gotta have numbers on it. And like when they do that kind of thing, you gotta do this, you gotta that. You can't park cars in the street here. You gotta park in your driveway at night. That sounds great. But then there's stuff like nobody in this neighborhood can have a shed. They can't have a permanent structure in their yard or in their backyard. So you can't have like a tool shed. And it's like, look, I understand not having like a third resident, like a second residence or something, or like, a bonus house room or whatever. Like, I understand. I can understand that. But like, I think you should be able to, if you want to have a tool shed, have a tool shed. If you want to like not have your lawnmower in your garage and you would rather have it like in its own enclosure, I think that is fine, and I think they should allow for that, and they don't, and I think that's weird. But every HOA is different, and sometimes they can be helpful, but sometimes they can also be pains in the butt. It really all depends. I need 8140. Pope said he thought capybaras look like anime dogs. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Pitch a tool tent. Yes. A tool tent, maybe. No tool shed. Some straight guff and bupkis. Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. I really would love to have some sort of enclosure for a lot of the stuff that's in our garage. Like, just like tools. It would be great if like all of the tools didn't have to be in there. Or like barrels of we could keep like recycling in a shed instead of in the garage. Like, I don't know. There's just like things that would make life a little, just small improvements to everything here. That would be great if we could do it, but we can't do that shit. So I'm not like gonna be up in arms about it, because I know that that's just how it is around here. It's frustrating, but that is how things are. All right. We got that. We are almost done with our second leg here. Almost done, and then we'll take a pause for the cause. If you're new to the stream or it's been a while, pause for the cause is my ad breaks. It's where I talk about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. Do all that kind of conversation about that thing, and we'll do that. And I talk about some videos I'd like you to see and ways you can support what I do and all that other stuff. And we'll get to that in a minute. But we got to put this together, and then we'll have to obviously panel line it and all that. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the ska button. If you're new, I got a stream deck and I have sound effects on it, and you can use channel points for this to happen. And then I will just play the ska button. Dirty says, my house when I was growing up had 2 tool sheds, and we got a third when my grandfather moved in with us. Hell yeah. Yeah, the old storage shed on the property, I think, is just nice. Like, hey, do I like that got a Stream Deck and not afraid to use it? Indeed. Do I wish that, or am I happy that people don't have like cars parked in the front lawn and back lawn? I guess. I mean, it's nice we don't have any of that, but like, I don't know. Like, is it good that they like, you know, inspect the driveways of the neighborhood? Like, maybe it is. I don't know. Like, to make sure that it's not unsafe and that people are like, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So certain standards I think are bullshit. But whatever. It's not my place. I didn't buy the house. My dad's just expanded his shed whenever he wants to get more stuff in it. Hell yeah, I love that. Yeah, my folks had a nice looking tool shed at the old house back in Connecticut, and that was great. They got a lot of stuff in there, and they didn't have to have a lawnmower in the garage. And yeah, we had some ladders in there and just a bunch of tools you don't use all the time. It was nice to have that in there instead of it, in the garage. It's nice you don't have any of that, but also, does everyone need to be micromanaged to an extreme? I agree. Oh yeah, taking down trees. Yeah, you got to ask permission about that. You got to like have a perm. You got to make sure you talk to somebody and have a permit to do any kind of renovation. And that's like, the HOA shouldn't have to tell us it was okay that we got some windows replaced. But that's mainly like not about the windows. It's about the like truck that's going to be in the driveway for a couple of days, and them like knowing that's going to happen and approving that we're going to have workers work. And it's just like, all right. I mean, I guess that's fine, but it's still annoying. A lot of it's just more annoying than anything else. I don't know. Like I said, it's not my house, not my rules. It's fine. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about here? Let's see. I might get that Sonic collection when it comes out. They announced the Sonic collection, which is 1, 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And we're finally getting that version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which we haven't had. It's been out. Usually it's often been an issue with music licensing. Because some of the music in Sonic 3 was written in part by Michael Jackson, who then didn't enjoy how some of the music that he wrote was used in the game. So there's been some licensing issues with that in the past, and I believe there's a version of the game that doesn't have it, and this one probably won't have that music either. Also, I didn't learn about the law in Texas that you can't park on the street in the opposite direction that the flow of traffic until just a few years ago. Apparently, it's been in the books for a few decades. That is a law in several places that I have been. Yeah, you got to go with the flow of traffic, even though you're just parked. At least there's one less streaming service around with CNN Plus shutting down next week. A thing that I didn't know existed until people started making fun of it. I didn't even know it was a thing. More streaming services need to fail because we gotta let people know that not everything needs to be a streaming service, and you should just instead license your content to other people. Now, licensing it doesn't make as much money as having your own, but it also means you don't have to do the work of having a subscription service. So the price they asked is a bit on the high side. Definitely nice they're finally re-releasing those titles for new hardware. Yes. So yeah. It is nice. Yeah. I mean, the price is going to be what it is, and people will figure it out. But I do like that. Especially like with the idea of these movies coming out and introducing some of these characters to people. It's kind of fun to go back and be like, hey, this is when Knuckles was here. This is when, this is like Tails involved in doing shenanigans. Check this out. I don't know. I like it. All right. We are now basically body complete here. We're going to do the backpack and we're going to do the shield, which is also the weapon. But we're not going to do that quite yet. We will do it, but just not at this very moment. We got to do a backpack as well. Yeah. But Interested in new animation and remastered Sonic CD stuff, but otherwise I spend more. Oh yeah, also Sonic CD. I spend way more money on a Mister to do things like play those games. Yeah, I understand. I do like. I mean, I played Sonic Spinball in the year 2022. I think Sonic Spinball is pretty great. So I like that game. Anyway, we're gonna take a pause for the cause. This is, if you're new, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you ways you can support the channel here. Talk about it briefly. Then we'll get into some anime discussion while I continue to work on this kit, and then get ready for the Elgaim, not Legaim, Elgaim Og, which is the next thing we'll be working on. Hell yeah. Dirty already put in there. At this point, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those emotes in the chat. The scythe is for the tier 2 subscribers. Subscribing is an easy way to support what I do here through cash money, or you could do it with your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use that on anybody. If you wanted to use it on me, that would be great. Also, a reminder to people. Oh, Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. If like you share an Amazon account with somebody, but nobody uses a Prime token, link that shit up. You could do that. But yeah, we're gonna talk a few ways that you can support what I do here. Again, becoming a subscriber is an easy way to do it. Bits and coins always appreciated. You could gift a sub. You can see I got our gift sub leaderboard with Arctic Sloth and Dirty and Aristophan. Thank you to everybody that gifted subs. Our goal is to get to 45 subscribers. We are currently at 40. All the things that we talk about here are things you could do. None of these things are things you have to do. These are optional things that would be neat, and I would appreciate you doing them. But don't feel like I'm telling you got to. And then we'll get back to building. But, I got to do my ad reads because no sponsor here. Patreon.com/PatBear is the place to go to check out my Patreon. You can see if there's something there that you want to check out. Yeah, if there's something you want to check out there, you can always go to patreon.com/PatBear. $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. Take a look, see if there's a tier that's right for you. Different rewards for different tiers. Let's see. YouTube. Hey, I make YouTube videos about stuff. Sometimes it's anime, sometimes it's just fun facts from the internet that I want to talk about. But youtube.com/PatBear. I've got a every other Monday series called Pat Bear's Anime Club, and a weekly series. This year's weekly series is Do You Remembaer? We'll talk more about that later. But you can subscribe for free, obviously, or join. And just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you get them a little early. Also, if you don't want to do monthly on any of those ways, there's one-time. Everything I make through one-time donations, through Patreon, through Twitch, through YouTube, all goes into a fund. I take money out of that fund and buy model kits. This kit, I was able to pre-order this kit because of the money that comes in monthly. So thank you to everybody that subscribes or had done a one-time or whatever. If you used to subscribe and you don't anymore, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you were like, oh, I dropped from $5 a month to $1 and I got rid of the $1, I don't do your Patreon anymore. Thank you for doing it at any point. I appreciate it. Now, there's a way. I said what my next kit is going to be. We're going to get started tonight. I know that somebody bought me a model kit off my Amazon wish list, and it's coming at some point. That'll be the next thing I build, because anything bought on my Amazon wish list jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I work on, because that's the least I could do for somebody that bought something. So I have an Amazon wish list. You can check it out there. Anything you buy there gets shipped to me. You can include a note, and I can do a shout-out video about the thing you bought. Called my mailbag. That's a YouTube video. I've got inexpensive little kits. You can see at the top there, they go up in price as we go through. A kit from Initial D. That's a glue kit, so I have to use liquid cement for that. Inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that usually have free Prime shipping. Sometimes they just have free shipping. Sometimes it's not. Inexpensive kits. Did I put the incredibly expensive kit up there that somebody in chat on Monday was like, you should put that on your wish list, wink, wink. Did I actually put that on my wish list? Yes. Did that person buy me this incredibly expensive kit? No. But I'll leave it up there for now anyway, because I think it's funny to have a $700 model kit on my Amazon wish list. That is just silly to me. I don't expect anyone to spend that money on that. Also, I got some gear on there, some other stuff that would help me out. But yeah, you buy something, it jumps the queue. We're going to get back to building real soon. Just got to go through all my ads. An alternative to Amazon would be to buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They send you a code in your email. Then you can then copy and paste that code to me, and I'll use that code. You just got to go to the Twitter and send me a DM because my DMs are open. Let's see. Also, I do have a wish list on Throne. There's not a lot of stuff on Throne, but they do. The Throne really does care about keeping the privacy of the people that put up lists secure. So not including like the place that's being sent to, the name of the person for folks that stream or do content on the internet under a pseudonym. I use my actual name. Not everybody does. So that is nice. The Throne exists, and so I want to use that. But take a look, see if there's anything there that you think is cool. Let's see. I have a Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. We have a nice little burst of projects that people have been doing. So that's been cool. So join my Discord there if you'd like. And then let's go back over here. A couple video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I'll have a new one up on Monday. But the current Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about... what is this video? Why did my brain... I'm clicking on it because I don't remember. It's how I subscribe to High Dive. High Dive is a streaming service, and I've never used it before, and I took a look at that website. That is not a sponsored video. I make that clear. I literally was just like, oh, yeah, I've never used this streaming service, so now I'm going to take a look at it. And then Do You Remembaer is my weekly video series. This week, I read an article about Adolf Sax, and I talked about the inventor of the saxophone. Did you know that the inventor of the saxophone's last name was Sax? I knew that, but I also played the alto saxophone for many years, and so I was aware. But yeah, I talk about the boy who lived, because holy shit, that dude almost accidentally died several times as a child, and it's kind of incredible that he made it to an adult and then made a bunch of instruments that were adopted by military bands because those brass sounds were great, but they had the precision of woodwinds. But then they had the great sound. So like the first people that thought saxophones were awesome were the Paris military bands, or the French military bands. Yes, I did, because I played the baritone sax in high school. Hell yeah, Queen. So you did know. Yes. So I talked about the inventor of the saxophone. And I remembered a lot of facts about him. I didn't remember dates, but I remembered a lot of facts. Also, I say it in the video. I'm just going to say it here because it's fucking incredible, and I love it so much. The museum dedicated to him and saxophones in his hometown in Belgium is named Mr. Sax's House. And that is a fucking great name for a museum about the inventor of the saxophone. Oh, let's go to Mr. Sax's House. It's just a great fucking name. It makes me happy that exists. Anyway, I'm going to drink some water. We're going to get back to building. We're going to finish this kit, and then we'll get the Elgame Og. We'll get into that. But first, I'm going to drink a little water and dramatically transition back. Dramatic transition. All right, let's build a backpack. Put that on there, and then we'll build the shield, and then we'll call this kit closed. Excuse me. And I'm going to talk to you about some anime. Folks, anime season is in full force, and there's There you go, Nightbot. And I got a bunch of shows to talk to you about. Now, have I cut back on some shows that I've been watching? Yes. Am I going to cut any of the shows that I'm talking about tonight? Not really. I don't think so. I'm Quitting Heroing is a real, like, if I had other stuff to watch on Tuesday, I don't know if I would be watching it. How are the feet stickers? Asked Sazabi. I mean, they look okay. I didn't do a perfect job on them, but from the front, I think they look fine. Maybe like the side edges aren't perfect, but I think they look all right. I mean, I think you would know that they're stickers, but I think okay. Let's build that backpack while I talk about some anime that I've been watching. Some of which I will just say, pretty good. Yes, Sazabi. Everything red on this kit is a sticker. None of the red you see on this kit is real because this is color. They're color correcting stickers for this high grade that got modified to be in Gundam Breaker Battlelog and Gundam Build Fighters. So yes, all those red parts are stickers. And you know, yes, Sazabi. But then we probably wouldn't have gotten this model kit because you know. The price of stickers was probably way less than the price of more unique plastics. But I don't disagree with you. All right. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a bunch of anime right now, and I'm going to go through it, and you can learn about some shows that maybe you want to watch, or maybe I will say something and you're just like, wait, what? What's happening in the show that you're watching, Pat? But I'm going to go through them right now. So, I'm Quitting Heroing is on High Dive, and I enjoy the premise of this action show. That it is a dude from the heroing party defeated the Demon Lord, like stopped the invasion of the Demon Lord's army, kind of wrecked their castle, put them in ruins. Nobody died, but everybody's basically just like, they're back to square one. Pretty much the humans have won, and they're feeling pretty good about it. Except, if you're strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord and all of her like generals by yourself, well then a bunch of humanity is like, you are terrifying. And so they're like, you need to get out of here. And he's like, sure. And then some people are like, actually, you need to die. And that doesn't work. So instead, he's just like, well, my mission is to like bring peace. So I don't have anywhere to go, and I'm pissed off about what just happened. You know what I'll do? I'll rebuild the Demon Lord's army. And of course, the current Demon Lord is like, no, get out of here. What are you talking about? So he's secretly helping them under a disguise. And this episode was all about him helping Lily, who is of the Beast tribe, who is in charge of logistics, which is a terrible idea because she is childish. And this was not a good episode of this show. I do like this show. I like the premise. I like Leo pretty much. I think it is a pretty fun premise for a show. But this episode wasn't my favorite. I've read the manga, and it wasn't my favorite part of the manga either. So he is, it is basically like him like trying to teach her a valuable lesson about like teamwork. And it's later just kind of blatantly said, basically, if instead of doing this elaborate like plot like test for her, like for her to like understand teamwork and all of that, what he should have done was just say, hey, you should work with other people, and like she would have listened to his suggestion. But that's it. Yeah, I mean, yes, Sazabi, it is like people fear things that they can't control, and the idea that like somebody pretty easily is clearly stronger than anyone else in the world, like, yeah, that can be scary. Speaking of anime, Sentai Films announced a very limited U.S. run for Revenue Starlight movie today. Oh, nice. I mean, I won't be going to the movies, but that is cool for people that want to go to a movie theater. That's neat. Anyway, like I said, this episode wasn't great. It was kind of a waste of time. We're setting up for more stuff coming. He's going to have to, in disguise, interact with the Demon Lord. It makes sense that eventually she's going to figure out what's going on. And eventually welcome him. Like, it's gonna happen. Anyway, also, as someone that has read I'm Quitting Heroing, the thing is, if you just watch this without reading the manga, without reading the light novel, like, I'm no spoilers on this, but like, it gets weird. It goes places and is strange. And justifications that don't quite make sense, and it's fine because this is a comedic series, then get explained in ways that make it even more confusing, and that's fun. John just subscribed, so let's hit the applause there. Thank you, John. Happy day after 420, y'all. Well, thank you very much, John. Thank you for subscribing. Again, 8 months. That's fantastic. John, we appreciate you being here. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for your support. Let's see. So that was I'm Quitting Heroing. Now over to The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a Typical Nobody. This is not a isekai. It is a series where our main character was reborn. So, big thing about this one that I don't love is, you just have to accept it. They called him the demon. Sometimes in stories, the person who is called the Demon Lord is not actually a demon. In this case, when they refer to him as the Demon Lord, they mean that he was the strongest human on Earth, that he shined humanity. He was so strong, he might as well be called the Demon Lord. Anyway, he got reincarnated as Ard. So we got Ard here. And Ard's thing is that he just wants to live a normal life. He wants to be a typical nobody. And the world won't let him. And he's also not good at being a typical nobody, because he's incredibly strong. He remembers magic. He can use magic that is lost to time. The big issue he has right now is a teacher at his school is a demon that worked for him. So she's convinced that he is the reincarnation of the Demon Lord. And he is like denying it, because he's like, look, if people find out, in his mind, he's like, if people find out, then I'm going to have to like do a bunch of stuff and it's going to be tiresome. He also like doesn't stop being, he defeats a demon. A demon shows up, everybody. A demon showed up, interrupted his double date he was on. And he easily defeats that demon. It's not necessarily that he's lazy. It's that he reincarnated because he didn't have like close friendships. It's also heavily implied that someone important, the most important person to him, died at some point. So it's heavily implied that he is looking to start over and have a normal life and like friends and lovers and like relationships and family, and he's got that now. But he also can't stop helping people. So like when a demon shows up that is clearly looking to kidnap him, but then not him, one of his companions, it looks like, he then has to step up and do what he needs to do. So he's trying to keep his like secret identity, and it's not working out. Things escalated because, hey, he saved people and stopped a plot, and defeated a demon, so he's got an audience with the queen. And the queen is like, well, he's also the son of heroes. Like, so he's like, oh, you're the son of the hero and you're just like your father. And, I want to make you part of the group that answers to me and, does missions for the queen. He's like, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Then I'm going to have to like help you out. So things are getting complicated. Also, the people that he stopped, there are more of them, and they've got an evil plot. And, they're like, oh, now we know how strong Ard is, so we'll know how to defeat him. And it's like, well, we know. Like, you don't need to have read the manga or the light novels to know that Ard is way stronger than they're giving him credit for, and he's going to probably very easily thwart their plans. Probably almost immediately. And, you know, maybe he'll have to face someone that's like actually strong. But most likely he won't, and it'll be fine. He's just going to do a bunch of cool shit. It's going to be good. But yeah, Greatest Demon Lord is fine. It's nothing to write home about. I do like those overpowered main characters. He does have a personality, which I like, in the fact that like he still doesn't know how to relate to people, and he's awkward, and I do enjoy that. That is more fun than the blander, I'm just strong kind of characters. So I do like that. RPG Real Estate is just so cute, y'all. It's such a cute little series. It is your chill girls doing stuff show. It is also about it is also a series that is a fantasy series. So, you know, you got both there. What happens 15 years after the Demon Lord is defeated? RPG Real Estate. That is the name of it. Yes. Basically, the idea is what happens after the Demon Lord is defeated? What do all the people who do magic end up doing when they don't have a war with demons and there's peace? Well, if you're a young lady who is studying magic, you end up as a real estate agent. And so we've got 4 young ladies. They're all real estate agents working for this company, finding homes for humans and for monsters. One of the girls that somebody found in a forest, she can speak with monsters, and she has like a tail. And at first I was like, oh, is this actually like the reincarnation of the Demon Lord? We'll find out like the cute young girl Fa is actually that. Because in this episode, yeah, it's fun. We find out in this episode that she has incredible amount of magic. She doesn't use magic. She hasn't learned how to use magic, but she has the huge amounts of magic capacity, like a shocking amount of magic capacity that really freaks people out. And at first I was like, oh, I bet she's like the reincarnation of the Demon Lord or something. But then it's E15 is... I think it's implied in this third episode that she's actually a dragon. She's turning into a dragon. Because throughout they're like, oh. We met a girl just like... So here's actually the thing that happens in this episodic thing is a problem is presented, and then another problem is presented, and the solution is the two people together solves the problem. In this episode, there's a girl that every apartment she's looking at, every house she's looking at, she's named Lily, and she's like, none of this is exactly what I want. I don't think you're ever going to find anything that I really want. She's like, okay, well, that sucks. I don't know how to make that work then. And then there's a place that has a room for rent, but it's haunted. There's like a cemetery outside, and people were murdered in that room, and there are spirits there, and people don't want to live there because they're ghosts. And the solution is, actually, Lily wants to live in that apartment, in that room, because she is a necromancer, and the effect that in these days, because there's not like a war going on, a lot of souls don't want to stick around. There aren't lingering souls that hang out. So the fact that there are lingering spirits there, she can make a contract with them. So she's very happy and looking forward to all of this working out. So problem 1 and problem 2, yes, got solved by just shoving them together. And that's kind of what we have here. And then there's the larger story going on about Fa, and maybe Fa is a dragon, which I would imagine she actually is a dragon. We'll see. I don't know. So I got to separate this part here, and then we could put these two together. So that's RPG Real Estate. Again, I think it's pretty cute. I like it. It is the girls doing things show this season. Cute girls doing cute things, that sort of show. It just so happens that the thing they're doing is magical real estate. So, yeah. And then we can clip this on here. And then we are body complete on this kit. Well, almost body complete. Gotta figure out how... Let's see if that works. Yeah. Okay. Well, this doesn't really. I guess that's a bend. Oh, it bends. There's some bend to it. Okay. Oh, well, actually, there is one last thing we got to do here, but we're almost done. I'm sorry. I keep saying we're done, and we're not actually done because we've got to do the radar sensor attachment that I don't think looks good thing that goes on the head. We got to put that on, and then we'll be done. Anyway, RPG Real Estate, pretty good. And then the last isekai I'll talk about tonight, one of the last anime we'll talk about tonight, we'll just say Skeleton Knight in Another World is my favorite opening of the season. I think the song kicks ass. Premise we've seen before. Dude was good at a video game. He somehow got summoned into the body of the video game avatar he had in a world that is similar to the world that he played in the game. In this case, he is like a paladin that is also a skeleton, and he wears a mask over his silver or his helmet all the time. He has a companion named what is her companion name? I wrote it down, right? Yeah, Ponta. Ponta is a little fox that he saved. That is his animal friend, and he's just like, the thing about Ark is I do enjoy that he is like giddy about being in this world and doing quests. He's doing we see him at the beginning of this one taking care of bandits because there are bandits, and he's like, all right, I'll take this bandit fighting quest, sure. Also, we learned that throughout the previous 2 episodes, the stuff that Ark has been doing has been almost exclusively getting in the way of someone's evil plots, but Ark doesn't know that. He's just been doing whatever he needs to do, the right thing. But he is getting in the way of people, and that might turn into a problem in the future, but right now it's not a problem. The elf that has been in the opening song, we finally learn about the elf. Her name is, sorry, I wrote it down. Arena? Yes. Oh, no. Arane. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'll learn it for next week. Anyway, she doesn't want any help from humans because the humans kidnap elves. There's a peace agreement, but they break the peace agreement, and she's around human settlements to try to recapture or try to free these elves. And she thinks that Ark is involved, but when she sees the fact that a spirit creature, which is what Ponta is, likes him, that means that he's not a bad human, and then he eventually does help her kill a bunch of bandits and save a bunch of elf girls. And then she's like, hey, you're a mercenary, right? He's like, yes. She's like, great. I want to hire you to come help me shut down this kidnapping operation. So that's going to be our next episode, is them working on that. It's a fine enough show. I think the opening is a good song. It's like a fake Dragon Force song. It's good. And the show is kind of fun. We'll get a photo there. Great. So the Weiss Barzam is complete. We got our Weiss Barzam fully done here. This is a good chunky friend. I like the look of it. I like its weapon. I think that's cool and different. It's got a good vibe to it. That kit is done. We can say goodbye to that. And then we can get started on the AUG. The AUG is from Heavy Metal Elgime. I was saying Elgame, but it's Elgime apparently. This kit was re-released in 2001, or 2021, I should say. It's originally a 2001 kit, and then Bandai did a re-release of this. So this is a very old kit for a very old series. And you can see it's a lovely looking kit. I don't have a photo for it that will replace the Weiss, but I'll do that for Saturday because I didn't know how far we would get into this. But like this is an old looking kit. This was a 2002 kit. So there are some new parts. There are some new parts here that are 2021 here. So they're new hands because apparently the old hands on this sucked ass. So there are like new connectors for this, because originally apparently the 2002 version had some garbage in it. But even these are like the polycap things that you would get in like 1999. So it does not have any stickers. We will do some panel lining on this. Its gold is beautiful. I really like the gold. I do like its design. I believe this was the villain's mobile suit that would face off against the main mobile kit. Throw it back in half, right? This went up. You just buy these. They re-released them last year, and I was very interested in picking this up because I just thought it would be neat to have. So D, and then E. But yeah, some of these parts are new, and some of them are older. And yeah, no stickers here. Just all of the parts, which is good. That's nice. Yeah, I don't know a lot about this. I mean, I definitely watched some of this series at one point, but I can't tell you information about it because it doesn't exist in my brain anymore. Yeah, so we got some new parts here, but a lot of this are very old, and we'll see how it holds up as far as being a kit goes, in a modern looking kit. But it is a cool looking mobile suit, and we'll get a little bit of this started here, and of course we'll do more of it in the coming weeks, or coming days, I should say, not weeks. This won't take weeks to build. Yeah, this kit looks cool. I love the fact that it's got the asymmetrical components on it, but they're symmetrical in the front and back. I think that's just a cool look. The A-class heavy metal AUG is what we're building here. Yeah, and we can get started with it. As I said, no stickers on this kit, which is fine by me. We do have some sabers here, so we'll build that. And this is not a Gundam kit. But it is, like I said, it is a very old kit that has some new parts on it. So it's got a little bit of new parts, and then again, it was released last year. And I don't know, I just like the look of it. I like a kit with a scythe. You know, we're gonna, you know, like it's a cool looking thing. And I'm excited to find out if this is a fun kit or not. We'll see. But we can get started with this a little bit here. We will start with the head, which is cool. Yeah, we'll just get a little bit of this done here. Yes, we are partial to size here. Yeah, yes, indeed. One last anime that I forgot that I want to talk about is KODAMA KAWASHIRI, which is an anime that is the opening is 1.5 minutes long, and then the actual episode is 1 minute long, and then the credits run during the episode, and it's just over before you know it. I continue to very much enjoy this nonsense series, and this episode was all about Kawashiri explaining how to eat cheap sushi and cheap scallops. And her basic strategy for scallops is just leave it in your mouth for a really long time because it'll expand in your mouth. And cheap sushi, you take the fish off of the rice, dunk it in soy sauce, then put it back on the rice. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't have any money, these are ways to make your not great stuff last. To be fair, sites are really cool. Indeed. I agree. Yeah. And we'll panel line this. Like, you know, I don't have any reason not to panel line this. I think it'll be totally fine. I think black on this gold is going to look real good. Yeah, I think it'll look good. So we can leave the gold, black, white, gray. Yeah, I think that stands. And then let's see. We want this to go like that. One thing I should point out is it has been a long time since I've seen this series, and I don't remember it that much. As I said, I know this is the villain's suit, and that is about all I remember. I think I like the opening song, but yeah, that is about it. I will do more. I'll do a little more investigation so that on Saturday I can talk a little bit more about the series. But I have watched some of it at one point in my life, but it has been a while, and I don't really remember too much about it. So I do apologize. Let's see, video game stuff. Dorf Romantic, or Dorf Romantique, is going out of early access at the end of this month, so next week. And I do have plans to stream it once it is fully out of early access, but so not next Wednesday, because it doesn't come out of early access till next Thursday. So the following Wednesday I will stream that, because I think it would be fun to oh, there's undergating. Hooray! There's undergating on this kit. Why is there undergating on a 2001 or 2002 model kit? Come on. Anyway, that's cool. I went back and played a little Dorf Romantic right before it, just kind of be like, oh yeah, this is going out early access. This is a fun game. I'm going to play a little bit of that. So I will do a stream of that in 2 weeks, because why not? Queen says, you said the kit was originally released in 2002 because the show was from 1984. They must really like that suit. Yeah. So this might just be, this might be like they never got around to doing. My assumption is they didn't get around to doing a mobile suit for it for a long time, and then like re-released it, or the show or something on like DVD or something like that, or VHS in 2002 maybe. I don't know. But yeah, this kit is originally from that. So yeah, they must have liked it. Alex mentioned that game on Next Level podcast. Yeah, I did hear that. Everyone's Deathlight Scythe. No one likes Sandrock Scythes. No, John, I don't like Sandrock's weird heat swords. I do like the version of them that are like the reddish, like clear version of those swords. But I don't particularly like the regular version of the heat something or others, because there's a name for that blade. Yes, Alex mentioned Dorf Romantique on Next Points or Next Landers stream, or not stream, podcast. I'm saying words and just they're not right, so that's fun. But yes, he did talk about that, and that was nice. It was nice to have him give that game a shout out. He somehow managed. Oh, those are short shotels. Yes, that's what they're called. Alex somehow managed to talk about Dorf Romantique and never said the word tile, which I think is impressive, that he never called them tiles. He said, I think he just said resources a lot. So I do applaud that. But yeah, so we're checking out in 2 weeks. I played a little bit of that. I've been playing Hearthstone. I got a new bullshit deck that I've been playing that doesn't... It wins less than some of the other bullshit decks, but it's way more fun. It's a nightmare of a deck. It basically... it's a rogue deck that you play a 4-cost minion that says the next spell you play on this turn costs 0. So you have to have a 4-cost minion in your hand, play it, and then have an 8-cost spell in your hand. And that spell is draw 5 death rattles and then have all those death rattles go off. So then the rest of your deck is just death rattle minions. And also like the counterfeit coins. And you just play that, and it's a mess. It's a beautiful mess. And you play all the strong, powerful death rattles. And it's not a good deck, but when it wins, it's a scam deck. Because you feel like you just scammed a win. Like you shouldn't have won that, but then you just pulled it off. It's fantastic. I really recommend checking that terrible deck out. It's a wild deck because you got to have plenty of the right death rattles. So that's my new Hearthstone deck that I'm playing. That I am in. Like I said, I am enjoying. It's nonsense, but it's fun. Is there anything else going on for me, game wise? Didn't get any Halo in this week. Hoping to get some this weekend with some of my Halo friends, because I do enjoy Halo and would like to keep playing it. So hopefully I'll be able to report to you that I have played some Halo. We'll see. Fingers crossed, because I want to. I want to get more big team issues going on there. Get some big team battles going. Right now, nothing. Pretty Press Sandrock didn't just get a generic Middle Eastern sword. It's just a really different sword they picked out. Wildly impractical. Most of the wing is style. Yes. Yeah. I feel like that one could have been a lot more racist than it ended up being. Like, even the idea that it has, like, a cloak, like, makes sense for where on Earth it normally is. Also, cloaks are cool in mobile suits that have cloaks are cool as hell, so I was happy about that. I think that's the thing I like the most about that kit, is that it's got a cool cloak. But yeah, that's could have been a lot worse than it is. Maybe I should have done this top one first. I don't know. I don't want to break anything here, but this is not going in the way that I would like it to. So we'll see. It's a big green piece that I got to get in. That apparently this green piece is new. So this was them being like, oh, you know what? We should redo the clear green. Oh, there it is. It's in now. Hooray. I like that. That looks good. Very good. Halo, been playing through the campaign for the first time. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've just been playing with friends. I got a good little crew. Some of the people that I play with, I used to play like Halo and Halo 2 with. So it's been fun to kind of reconnect with some of those. Plenty of other friends as well. But they're split in a bunch of different directions. They're playing a bunch of different games. So a couple of my Halo friends got into the non-building Fortnite, and they're very happy about playing Fortnite now that they don't have to build anything. So they're on that playlist, and they're very happy with that. So good on them. I'm glad they're having fun with it. That's not something I'm like dying to try out myself, but they seem to be having a good time in that Fortnite. Ton of people are in zero build Fortnite. I messed around with it for a few weeks too. Yeah, they seem pretty psyched about it. So I'm happy for them. I do want them to come back and play Halo with us though. So I think this weekend I'm going to get some Halo in. That's the hope. I do have my D&D session this weekend. My regular group. We're getting together, so that'll be good because it's fun to play with them. So looking forward to that. Get a session in, make some progress with our crew. Is that? I can't tell. No. That. I think this is how it's supposed to go. Can't tell. Think yes. Okay. I think this goes in like this. Doesn't look right, but I think that's right. Okay. And then this will go up into the head there. Okay, yes, that works. All right. This is a weird looking head. No stickers for this. Just a weird looking, like these eyes are so thin. It's very strange. It's a very strange looking thing. I've been trying to figure out where the worst players are in Fortnite as far as zero build or build modes are concerned. It's cracked me up how much more some people are engaging with Fortnite post no build. Wasn't my jam before or now. Yeah. I do think it's funny that people are like, oh, the thing that set Fortnite apart from other games was this thing that then people are like, oh, that's not in there anymore? Yeah, I'll check that out. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, let me get in there. Let's play. All right, we're gonna paint align this head. We finished the head. We'll move on to the body. on Saturday, and I promised to have the proper photo for that. I just didn't get it together. I messed up. I should have done it, and I didn't. And we'll just do a little bit of panel lining here around the head just for shits and giggles. Just give it a little bit of color to it. Look good. And then we'll just clean that up with my eraser. I like having people come at me in Fortnite and miss 99% of the shots while I get them in a few shots. Hell yeah, Lord Crashington. That is fun. Zero build outside of the bot lobby. Some's a very good patient player. So that's good. Yeah, people are just happy to play the game. It's fun. All right. So that is going to do it for our stream tonight. Thank you for everybody that came and hung out. Thank you for people that haven't been here in a while. It's always nice to have you join us. Appreciate it very much. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here, is we go and share some love with somebody in the community. Somebody that I think is awesome, that has a nice crew of folks hanging out. So we're going to go do that. And as John says, we always end with a raid. So we're going to go find somebody doing some cool shit. Sometimes they're model kit builders. Sometimes they're variety streamers. But we always go and hang out with somebody who I know has a cool community and is a good person. Because that's important to me. Wait. Why is that? Why does this person only have 7? Is it because they just started streaming or because they just finished? This is a person that has a lot of folks. So they have a lot of followers, so they shouldn't have only 7 viewers. Maybe they just started. Let's see. Did they tweet? When did they tweet? Okay, yeah, they just started. Or maybe they haven't gone live yet. Let's see. Because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But I believe we're going to raid... Yeah, we're going to raid Abby Russell, who is... Oh, she hasn't started yet. So we're not going to raid Abby Russell because she hasn't actually started her stream yet. And we're not going to go raid like a stay tuned screen. Anyway, Abby's going to be playing Nancy Drew in French. You can go on your own there later. But she hasn't started yet. So we're not going to raid her because she hasn't started. We're going to raid... Arthur Geese is playing Hitman Blood Money. And I don't know why he's playing... I know he loves Hitman. So we're going to go raid Arthur because Arthur's good people. And that's a good Hitman game. So we'll go do that. So feel free to come along on this raid. If you don't want it, you don't have to. It'll be nice if you could. You're welcome to. Arthur's a good person and knows Blood Money really well. So we'll go do that. And then again, tomorrow, come back at 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Not tomorrow. On Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern for my stream. I'll see you then. Thanks everybody for being here. Have a great night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.